The avocado, containing 21 grams of fat, 12 grams of carbs, 3 grams of protein, all culminating to 234 calories of rich and creamy goodness. The avocado is here to stay, but way back then these avocados almost went extinct and were almost gone for good. We're going to dive a little deep into the life of the avocado and explore some avocado facts. Hopefully you'll learn something new today about their history, their consumption trends, and even the event that was supposed to wipe them out. In the past recent years, avocados became a hit and new trendy foods were dedicated to the use of the avocado. Avocados are now popular with everyone, from sports enthusiasts having some guacamole dip during their games, or to the new trend of having some avocado toast for your meal. Let's begin with a little bit of their history, shall we? The avocado has long been a staple in many cultures, starting from Mexico all the way down to Central and Southern America. Going back 10,000 years, humans were implementing avocados into their diet. However, back then they were just simply grazing and gathering them rather than cultivating them. These hunter-gatherers would find an opportunity where there's an abundance of avocados, pick them up, and go on their way, spreading the seeds south as they traveled to South America. It wasn't until about 5,000 years ago that humans really began to understand how to cultivate many plants, avocados included. This was essentially when humans were able to create communities and no longer had to graze the lands. It's believed that early Mesoamerican tribes, like the Aztecs, were the first to domesticate these avocados. In fact, the Aztec word for avocado, ahuacatl, is thought to be where the name derived from. Fast forward a few thousand years to the 16th century, the avocado really begins to make its mark. The Spanish explorers that were introduced to the avocado on their voyages brought it back over to Europe whenever they got the chance. Others soon began to take notice and many people started to document their existence. Some examples include a Spanish priest named Bernabe who identified the 3 different types of avocados: Guatemalan, Mexican, and West Indian. Washington actually visited the Barbados and noted that the Avocados pears were a popular food. And finally, an Irish naturalist named Sir Hans Sloane is believed to be the person who coined the term when he wrote about it in 1696. Now during this time there were a lot of names being thrown around for the avocado, and after many voyages later, rather than calling the avocado by native regional names, they began to call it the alligator pear in English during the 17th century. And when you think about it, the name alligator pear kind of fits since the avocado skin is like that of an alligator and it's sort of shaped like a pear. Now interestingly, it wasn't until 1833 that the avocado came to America. It enjoyed much success in California, Florida, and Hawaii, where the tropical-like weather really made the avocados thrive. In the early 1900s, American growers managed to finally make the avocado name really stick. And by the 1950s, Americans were adding them almost exclusively to every single salad. Fast forward to today and they're a hit. Marketing has really took them over the edge and their popularity is at an all-time high. Now, as stated previously, the avocado trees were first brought to the United States in 1833 in Florida, followed by California in 1856. Now, according to the NASS, or the Natural Agriculture Statistics Service, California currently accounts for the majority of US avocado production, followed by Florida and then Hawaii. Interestingly, since the 1970s, avocado consumption has always been on the rise. In 1979, consumption per capita was just at 0.8 pounds per person, and it nearly doubled to 1.5 pounds in 1998. By 2005, that number had hit 3.5 pounds, and as of 2017, that number is at 7.5 pounds. When you consider these statistics, that's a 9 times increase in consumption in nearly 40 years. Now that we've gone through avocado history, here's a crazy fact. Avocado shouldn't exist today. In fact, avocado should be extinct like the dodo bird. You see, way back when the avocados were in their evolutionary prime, large megafauna were roaming the earth and humans weren't really around. Now when we're talking about megafauna, we're not really speaking of dinosaurs like the T-Rex or the Stegosaurus. That was too long ago. The large megafauna that was roaming the earth at this time were mammoths, gomphotheres, and giant ground sloths. How large were these animals? Let's just say they were as big as a truck that delivered your package the other day. These animals that would eat the avocados, like the sloths, had large enough stomachs and mouths to be able to digest the avocados whole. Now, a lot of plants rely on what's called seed dispersal. That means that in order for them to have a higher chance of growing, they require animals or the wind to place their seeds in new places, rather than fall on the floor and compete for the nutrients of the parent source or the surrounding plants. Avocados are too heavy for the wind to carry them away, so they relied on these large animals to eat them and disperse their seeds elsewhere after digestion. A little example from today's world, and think of the sloths as the bears of today. They basically eat the berries and disperse their seeds across the mountain ranges, similar to what sloths would do to the avocados way back in the prehistoric era. So about 13,000 years ago, all these giant megafauna started to disappear and go extinct themselves. With the wave of extinction to all these giant creatures that ate the avocados, the survivability of the avocado was in question. None of the smaller creatures could digest their seeds, and they were too heavy to be blown away by the wind to grow elsewhere, so they essentially rotted on the floor, unable to compete with other plants. Now luckily, a while later, humans stepped in to save the day. The avocados were struggling to survive, but Homo sapiens were not only smart enough to figure out that they were good for eating, but we learned to cultivate them, giving them a chance to thrive once again. I hope you learned something new today. If you're interested in watching other videos like this, be sure to click the videos down below.